Hello and welcome to Module 4 of the Nourish to Flourish workbook. I'm here to help guide you through. So grab that notebook and let's dive in. So Module 4 is about nutrition. As a dietitian, this is the bit that I'm super passionate about. Now, I've just given you a bit of an overview here, so do reach out if you want some one-to-one individualized support. But I hope that this is going to be a great starter. I've given you a meal planner to just have a think through. And what you'll notice here is that there are 3 meals and 3 snacks, as well as a pudding. Now, that's really important. Eating this regularly and having enough food in your meal plan is key. And I know it can feel wrong, but I want to promise you that actually this is how we need to be doing things in terms of recovery. Okay, so I hope you'll take some time to plan that out, thinking about the balance of food groups. You can always grab one of my lead magnets, one of my how to eat in a day or my meal planner guide, which will talk you through that from my website as well. Now, moving on to satisfaction foods. We've thought through the fact that you need regularity, that we need balance at those meals and at those snacks. We also need to make sure that foods bring you satisfaction. Now, this satisfaction could be the flavor, the texture, it could be the taste, it could be the memory and the association that you have with the food. And if we bring satisfaction into foods and into the meals that we're eating, it makes a really big difference. It means that we're just taking that time to really give ourselves the things that we like. And that is so, so healthy to do. So I'd love you to take a moment to think through food combinations that really work for you and those foods that you really like, perhaps why you like them. For example, I've put one of mine here. Mango is one of my favorite foods. I'm half Sri Lankan, which I think has something to do with it. I've got great memories of eating mangoes as a child, and I still adore it now. And I quite often love to pair it with creamy Greek yogurt, and then I add some almonds, sometimes some dark chocolate too. And I get that whole combination of sweet, of crunchy, of creaminess. It makes me feel full and it makes me feel satisfied. Another one could be something like peanut butter and banana on toast. That's another one of mine, for example. It's a childhood food. I love it. It's also really nutritious and balanced, and it helps keep me full. So think through, what are those things that make you feel satisfied and that you really enjoy? Next, moving on to fear foods. These can be really tricky. So again, this is a time to be super kind to yourself. I'd like you to focus on foods that you currently don't eat and why that is. Write down a list of no way foods. No way I'll go near those. I can't manage those right now. They just cause me too much stress. And then I want you to write down at a push foods. And these are foods that, if you had to, you could manage. If there was a certain situation, or if a certain somebody was with you, or in a certain circumstance, yes, okay, I could make myself do it. And then I want you to rank these foods out of 10, with 1 being the safest and 10 being absolutely not. You don't actually have to include just foods. It could be scenarios such as eating out, going for cake in a coffee shop, having a meal somewhere, having cocktails, whatever it might be. Just think, what are the things that you're not allowing yourself to do right now and why? Once you've done that, the key is to choose something. Choose something probably from the at a push side and think about something that has got a number that's a little bit lower down the list. We don't want to go straight in for those number 10 challenges. Choose something with those lower numbers and plan out specifically when, where, and how you're going to do that food challenge. Now, with these food challenges, the first time you do them, it is always the worst. And what I have learned from working with so many people is that repetition is the key. The more times that you do it, the more you will start to break through that fear and train your brain that actually this is okay. This is safe. I can manage this. So please don't skip this bit of work. After you've done your challenge, I want you to reflect on it. So write down what you thought was going to happen. So do that beforehand. What do you predict is going to happen? Your anxiety level about it. but then your anxiety level afterwards and how it went and what you might change next time. Because I do want you to do it again. It's important to do these challenges more than once. But by having it planned out and having this way that we really work through it can be really, really helpful. Now, most people have some form of food rules, and they can be okay. It could be, I choose to eat my lunch at the table. That's perfectly acceptable. The problem becomes when you become really rigid and restricted around them. So when you are only able to eat your lunch at the table and you're not able to eat your lunch sitting outside or in the car, for example. So I want you to think about any specific food rules you have about what to eat. Perhaps it's a food group or a food group you won't eat. How often, when you eat, how much you eat, where you eat, and with who. As examples, I've had people who say, if I've had a yogurt once in a day, I can't have a yogurt again. I would say there's no problem with having food multiple times in the day. It's all about the balance that we have across a day, across a week, across a time period. Or it could be, I don't eat carbohydrates with my dinner. Carbs are not allowed in the evening. Again, that's quite a rigid, restrictive food rule. So what we want to do with these food rules is just really take some time to write them down. And you are probably going to have more than this workbook has got space for. So grab some more paper, note everything down, and really go to town with thinking about what these food rules are. I then want you to choose maybe the top 5 and go back and think, what's the truth? What actually is the reality? Think about each food rule, think about why it developed, and have a reflection around each one. Now, you might want to go and get some advice on these. You might want to go to a trusted person, such as a dietitian or a healthcare professional, but just always check the source where you're getting that information because there is so much misinformation out there. Thank you so much for bearing with me, for listening, for being here. And I really hope that you'll do this important work on working through these food rules, on working through these food challenges, and on putting the satisfaction back into your eating. Remember, I'm here for any one-to-one support, or you can access my group coaching, the Recovery Tribe as well. But mostly, well done for doing this work. Be super proud of yourself, and I'll be back with another video.